guess it's visual storytelling, either through images, through illustrations, through 3D. But I chose the path of photography. So it's basically digital photography manipulated or enhanced to create or to convey a certain message to the audience. I would say primarily I daydream a lot. I tend to zone out quite often. During these instances when you zone out, I think you begin to see these ideas come to life and you have these ideas, but now the challenge is bringing those ideas to actual, to an actual product. But my inspiration comes from, things that I see from a day-to-day basis, but now enhanced to a different magnitude. I have a guiding system where my work has to fall into one of the three categories, actually two of the three categories, and that's fiction, culture, and identity. It's always a matter of refining and fine-tuning your concept and your idea. And I think when it falls into those three categories, then you have a solid piece of work at the end of the day. I think initially when I started out, it was all just try something, shoot something, and then see the end result. But with time, especially in the last, say, 3 years, I've been able to create a system where you conceptualize, create mood boards, sketch sometimes if the idea is quite complex. Share your mood board with your team, which is also very important. When you have a team who understands what you're doing and is in sync and knows how you work and what you want to do, having all that team, which I think I've had for the last 4 years, the same team for the last 4 years, they know exactly what I want. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if I didn't have the right team in place, if I didn't have the right makeup artist, the right hairstylist. I mean, I work with some of the best in the industry who are not known or who are not appreciated as they ought to. But through these projects that we do, people actually get to see, what goes on, who these people are, what their contribution is into these projects. And that's the whole culture that we're trying to nurture, especially in Kenya and in the region, that we need to come together with different skills, and collaborate, produce work. And we move together, we grow together. Let's advance as a unit, not as individuals. I think the favorite part comes months later, say 3, 4, 5 months later, when you see them and like, we actually pulled it off. That moment, that's the best moment. Because whenever we launch a project, I always feel like there's part of me that's gone. Every time I launch a project and I put it up on social media or on Behance or on Facebook, I feel empty again. I feel like there's something missing. You've been working on this. It's like your child. You've been nurturing your child for this long, then it's finally gone and it's out there. So you always feel that sense of emptiness and you need something to, rejuvenate or fill that space. So that's now when you start thinking about the next project. It becomes like a cycle. You launch it, you feel empty, you start thinking of the next one, you do it, you launch it, it becomes a cycle. But the best part comes months later when you actually sit down and say, we actually pull it off. So I feel like the art is the highest form of expression. So I leave it to the viewer to interpret it according to what they feel means to them. But my idea and my hope at the end of the day is it conveys a positive message, that it uplifts you. Guinness in 2013, they saw my work, and actually the reference image that they told me they wanted to replicate was one of my images for a personal project involving sports heroes. That was number one. Number two was some of they're not big clients, but small clients that we've done, like homewares, the one with the lady with the knives, sticking from the head. Something that made it to 200 best digital artists worldwide. Things like those, where it's something small but with a big vision that the world recognizes. Such things keep me going. Yes, collaborate, create your style, create your identity, create your vision, create your voice, but do not copy. Don't chase after the money. The money will come to you. That's the thing I was told when I was starting out, and I felt I hated being told that, but it makes so much sense now. Don't chase after the money. Do your research, create your own voice, create your own style, work hard day and night, experiment, fail, try, succeed, fail again, just wake up and keep on trying. until you get to where you want to be. The world is watching. This is something that I keep telling every young photographer that I meet. People want to see a different perspective, different narrative from what they're used to hearing and seeing. So if you do something good, the world is watching and people will pay attention.